Today I'm so excited because I'm going to be trying out, or I should say testing out, some new drugstore makeup. This is going to be a wear test. We're going to see how these products wear throughout the day. And I have used all of these products this week, and so I can give you like a little bit better review on each of the products. So we're just gonna go ahead and dive into this. With this Hard Candy Just Glow Luminizer, I was sent this in PR and they sent me all 3 of the shades that they offer in this. So I've been testing out the shades in Rosy Glow, which is the lightest one, and also in, what is this one? Golden Glow. But this is Rosy Glow right here. And then this is Golden Glow. And this last one is Bronze Glow. And this one is pretty intense. I know it doesn't look too much darker than the Golden Glow, but it is probably like a shade or 2 more bronzy. It says that it's infused with vitamin C and niacinamide. You can wear it alone underneath makeup, or you can mix it with like your foundation or whatever to kind of give it more of like a tinted moisturizer type of consistency. I have mixed this in with like my foundations, and I've just mixed in a little bit to give it like a slight glow that is really pretty. But today I'm going to use it underneath, just kind of like as my primer, like I said, and I'm going to be using the Rosy Glow so you can see what this looks like on. And it does provide like a little bit of color to the skin. So I'm just going to apply this all over. It is really moisturizing, and I don't notice like any shimmers. It just gives like a nice glow. It doesn't have any scent to it. I do enjoy the shade of the Rosy Glow. I know that with the L'Oreal Glotions, the lightest shade that they have in that almost has like a pearlized sort of finish, or at least the last time I used it. Maybe they have some more shades in that range, but I do like the tone of this better for like a more fair than the L'Oreal Glotion. The next exciting thing that I picked up, and I had a couple of you guys ask me to do a review on this, the Maybelline Superstay Lumi-Matte Foundation. And I ended up ordering 2 different shades from Ulta because I was not for sure which shade I needed. So I ended up getting 110 and 118. 110 is a pretty like spot on match for me. It looks like they are offering 24 different shades in this foundation. I mean, like the shade ranges aren't horrible, and they definitely have some medium and deeper shades as well as like the fair. It doesn't seem like they have a lot of really fair shades. So, and I mean, like honestly, like looking at the different ranges, it looks like they could have had more shade ranges, but they definitely tried to hit, you know, lights, fair, medium, and like deep ranges in that. And also too, I did notice when I ordered this foundation off of Ulta that if you order this online, you do get a little bit of a discount. So it looks like in the Ulta store, it's priced at $14.99, but it says app only. Like if you order it through the app, it's $10.49 for this foundation. I'm gonna go ahead, I will do like little swatches of 110 and 118 so you can see the difference in the color here between these 2, in case you're like me and you're not really for sure which of these 2 shades that you need. I would say that 118 is probably going to be more of like my spring summer sort of shade. This is 110, 118. And they're definitely more yellow toned golden shades. I wouldn't say it's like super runny, but it's definitely more of like a liquidy thin consistency. It's not like super thick. So I'm just using my dampened Wet n Wild makeup sponge to blend this out. I'm such a makeup sponge type of gal. Like, I rarely use makeup brushes to apply foundation. Like normally I will either use my hands or a sponge. And I've only applied this foundation with the sponge, but I find that it has good coverage even using a sponge with it. And I'll kind of show you each side of my face here to see the difference. But like, see how that basically blends in with my neck, where this, you can totally see like a difference between that illuminizing hard candy product to my neck there. But I do like the finish on this. At least for me, I feel like it does look a little bit more matte than it does dewy. But with like this primer underneath, it definitely gives it a more of a luminous finish. I know that this is marketed as a Lumi-Matte. I would say it is like a semi-matte finish on this. Maybe leaning slightly a little bit more matte than illuminating. So this is the side with the foundation. Blended it in really nicely. The side without. And like I said, it does look a little bit more dewy today because I have that hard candy luminizer underneath. And I'm gonna do my concealer and powder off camera real quick because I didn't purchase any new concealer or powder. I saw on Ulta that Morphe had redone their whole brush line. Like all the Morphe brushes that I had in my collection, they no longer make anymore. Like they've totally revamped their brush line. The bristles that they are using in their brushes are supposed to be like antibacterial or whatever. I forget what it said on their website that it's supposed to be made from. Let me look it up real quick. Oh, here we go. It says bristles treated with silver ion known to have antibacterial benefits. I bought this set, which is like their eye set. This is I Want It All, and it's a 7-piece eye brush set for $25, which I know that this is more expensive than that Amazon brush set that I recommend to you guys. In general, $25 for a brush set like this is really affordable. And then I also bought some face brushes to test out from Morphe as well. The quality of the brushes that I've had from Morphe in the past have lasted really well, so I was really curious about these. I'm just gonna go ahead and use this Morphe brush today. This is just like their duo eyebrow brush that's got like the angled little brush there and the spoolie, just like a classic. This is the M401 brush. So I'm just using the spoolie to brush through my brows. And the brow product that I'm going to use today is not like a new product. Like I'm just going to use a brow powder, which is actually an eyeshadow, and it's from Tarte. It's from the Tartelette in Bloom palette, which apparently has also been discontinued. But this is in the shade Activist. So this is going to be the first time me using this Morphe brush to fill in my brows. So let's just see how well this does. The bristles do seem stiff, but not too overly stiff. I find that like with an angled liner brush like this, you want the bristles to be somewhat stiff just so you can be like a little bit precise. If it's too flimsy, then it's almost like, you know, really hard to fill in your brows or do liner or anything like that, like gel liner, or if you use eyeshadow for liner. So another new product that I picked up from Ulta is this LA Girl On Cloud 9 Bouncy Blush and Bronzer. And as you can see, the bronzer is super dark in this product. I was not expecting it to be quite this dark. This was supposed to be like the medium one. They have 3 different shades in this, which is called Coral Bliss, which is like a coral, like a golden coral blush. And like the products are really interesting. They're almost like a cream to powder feel. I haven't really used this bronzer. To be honest, like I'm kind of scared to use it because it is pretty dark. Like this would be more of like a summertime bronzer for me. I'm like, do I use the bronzer in that just to see for you guys at least, even though I don't really want to use that because I feel like it's gonna be too dark. But let's just, for the sake of this video, I will use it. And I'm gonna be using another new Morphe brush. This is the M162. I normally use the Real Techniques 300 brush to do my bronzer. And I was trying to find a dupe because that brush you can no longer get. So here are these 2 brushes in comparison. The Morphe is a little bit more tapered. They are both like pinched on the side there, and they're like wider from this angle, pinched that way. I do find that brushes like this are really great for applying bronzer, just because you can be like a little bit precise, but at the same time blend it out. So I'm gonna lightly apply this bronzer. Maybe it's not as scary as it looks if it's like lightly applied. So, but yeah, this Morphe brush is very comparable to that Real Techniques. I have been enjoying it. Like, I've been using it all week to do my bronzer. So I do really enjoy this brush. Okay, yeah, I mean, I guess if you just barely put your brush in the product, it isn't too crazy. I think like maybe just seeing it in the pan there was really intimidating for me. And I do feel that it can be applied super, like, you know, if you're not being super light-handed with it, it will apply too much of it and look too dark if you're really fair like myself. And then I'm gonna take just a little bit of it here on my nose just to bronze. I'm actually surprised by that. Okay, and then with the blush, I have actually been using this Real Techniques brush to apply this week, but I did purchase the Morphe angled. This is just the powder bronzer is what they have this labeled as, and this is the M241, just like an angled brush. I love angled brushes like this to apply blush. So let me just kind of wipe off the blush that's on this, and we'll use this today to apply this blush in this little palette. But this blush color is super pretty. But just a pretty flush of color. And it does look really undetectable on the skin because it is like that cream to powder. I really wouldn't even say maybe that it's cream to powder. It's just like cream, but it doesn't feel like really emollient or greasy. It has more of like a powder feel, like once you get it, you know, blended onto the skin, but it doesn't look powdery at all. This is the LA Girl on Cloud 9 Bouncy Eyeshadow, which is the same kind of formula and consistency as that blush bronzer duo. And this is in Breezy Nude. They had 3 different little palettes in this. One is a taupe kind of cool toned eyeshadow palette, which was the one that Jen Phelps used in her video. Then you have this one, which is more of like the neutral palettes, because this is like the nude one. And then they have another one that's a little bit more warm toned, which I thought that was the palette that I was ordering, but I guess I accidentally ordered this one. But either way, I have used this a couple of times. Like last year, LA Girl came out with their Desert Glow Envy kind of line, and I absolutely loved this eyeshadow palette, which the formula on this is like classic eyeshadows. They're, you know, powder eyeshadows that are pressed, where this palette here is more like cream eyeshadows. The other times that I have used this, I have used an eyeshadow primer, and I haven't really loved it with an eyeshadow primer for whatever reason, which you would think that would help it last better and everything. So today I want to use it without an eyeshadow primer and see if I like it better, because I know Jen Phelps really liked her palette and she didn't use a primer. So maybe that's my issue. I don't know. This is the M333 and the M331 brush. These come in that I want it all brush set. And then I purchased this one separately. This is the M332 brush, which is more like the Sigma E25. I'm gonna first go in with this shade here in the palette. I have found that with these shadows, they tend to come off way lighter than you would expect them to be, like from what they look like in the palette. Like, do you see how like that shade looks like it's basically not showing up on my eyelid? I'll show you guys this color here. Let's just put this over here so we can see it a little bit better, because I feel like once you start using those lighter ones, since this is a cream, it just makes everything light. So as you can see, like that shade's slightly darker than this. Let's go in with the darkest color in the crease. This is gonna be the one that's gonna show up the best. So here's this color in the crease. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel that right now the trend is to do very light eyeshadow looks. So if you're more into that, maybe you would really enjoy the colors in this palette, but it's just not really what you would expect from what you see. We'll just see how these hold up throughout the day without the primer. Like I said, I don't really feel like it holds up the greatest, even with eyeshadow primer on. Like, it gets kind of creasy. And I'm gonna go in with the shade first all over the lid. It's very glittery, and I'm gonna use a eyeshadow sponge to apply this just to minimize fallout. You could also use your finger with this. And like, while this shade looks super pretty on, and it's kind of similar to, at least the way it looks, as some of the like more glitter topper shades in this palette here. This formula is a powder, where this is a cream. And so you would think with the cream like glitters, it would hold up better and just look better. But to be honest, I find that the powder ones hold up better, like if I use like a makeup setting spray and apply them, as opposed to this. And then I'm gonna flip this brush over, and we'll take a little bit of like the lightest like glittery color in this palette, and I'll put that more on the center of the lid. Like, have you guys bought this palette? Have you used it? Like, what are your thoughts on it? And then I did pick up one of their glitter liners, and they have 3 different shades in this. This is the gold one, which I'm like, does it have a name? Gold Goals. Say that 5 times fast. They have like a pink glitter and a silver. So I was debating between the pink and the gold, but I figured gold would probably be like more of something I'd be into right now. So we'll just put this, I mean, it's just kind of like a easy gold liner. It's not like a super opaque type of glitter liner. It's more, I mean, I guess it depends on how you build it up. See, that's what it looks like on the back of my hand. It's really pretty. I need to use this with a different makeup look where I'm not using also glitter on the eyelid, because I think it makes it harder for me to detect what this is looking like and how it wears and everything. Okay, and then I'm gonna let that dry down because it feels really wet right now before I do the mascara. I picked up the LA Girl Supercharged Maxed Out Volume Mascara. This is the packaging that it comes in. So it's supposed to be like buildable, volume, removes easily, which in removing this, like, it removed really easily. So I just got this in from Ulta yesterday, and I used it at the end of yesterday before I went out to dinner. I put this on my lips. Just like my initial thoughts on it, I did like the way it felt on the lips. And I think they have 10 different shades in this, if I remember right, on Ulta. This is in the shade 10 Current Mood, which is it was like a rosy nude or something like that. A neutral rosy nude, I think is how they described it. But it feels really nice on the lips. Like, it feels really pillowy. But it does have a slight tack to it. I think like the selling point on these is that it's supposed to be like buildable. I wouldn't say that it's like a tint, because I you know, expect the tint to kind of like stain my lips almost. The packaging on it is super cute though. It almost reminds me of a Tootsie Roll. Like if you guys remember those, like where it was like several chunks of like a Tootsie Roll, like that's what it reminds me there. I like the way it feels in the hand. The packaging's cute. So, and I do like this color. So we'll see how it holds up throughout the day. But yeah, I think this eyeliner is completely dried down now. So let's go ahead and curl the lashes up and apply this mascara. But like, see at the ends, like how it's thicker there? Like that just annoys me because you don't want something really thick in the inner corner. I did find it to be, I don't know, like it does kind of have volume, but at the same time I feel like it's kind of sticking my lashes together. And maybe, and like, see, look, I already got it on my upper lid and I don't have any Q-tips right now. But yeah, I find that this mascara is kind of messy and it doesn't give the volume that I'm completely into. So I would say pass on this mascara. It's not like the worst mascara I've ever used, but it's not the best. I just feel like it's a little clumpy and the brush is a little bit clunky. So for me, this mascara is a fail. It's just not my cup of tea. So, oh, and I don't want to put this on the lower lash line because I was having issues with it transferring. So let's not do that. I'm going to use my Maybelline Lash Sensational mascara. It's like I have such a high standard for mascaras, and it's like if you cannot top this Maybelline Lash Sensational or like the Maybelline Sky High, like you have to top that for me to like you. It's like also too, I feel like another issue is like this mascara is really wet, so it makes your lashes fall. I'm just going to go ahead and mist real quick, just lightly. As you can see, like a mix of that hard candy primer and setting spray really gave this foundation like a nice luminous glow. It's like this lip has already kind of dried down some more, and I guess it does kind of get a little bit tackier as it dries. Like as you can see, like my lips are kind of sticking together. It is 9:26 a.m. Little picture of Josh and I at the wedding, at our wedding. So I will see you guys later on today with some check-ins. Just, we'll see how everything is holding up. I am back and it is almost 2 p.m. So we're doing our first check-in, and as you can see, like with this mascara, it has transferred up on this eyeshadow. And I will say that I have used this mascara with just regular powder eyeshadow, and I haven't had the same issue with it transferring with powders. But like the shadow, I mean, it is like a little bit creased, but I'm also getting like some glittery fallout like on my cheeks and everything. I don't know if you can really see it on camera or not, but this is why I don't like this eyeshadow, because it's just a hot mess throughout the day. Even with eyeshadow primer, it does the same stuff. The foundation, I feel like, is still holding up well. I mean, it's definitely gotten a little bit more luminous since I first put it on, but you know, that illuminating hard candy product definitely is shining through. But I think it looks good. Like, I like the way it looks. The blush still looks good. I feel like the bronzer still looks good. And actually the lip did stay on after I had lunch. It does feel a little bit more dry now. And I do want to apply some more of this just to see if it builds okay on itself. But it seems like it added maybe like a little bit of moisture to my lips, adding this on top of it again. Okay guys, I'm back and it is 7:31 p.m. So it's been 10 hours since I applied everything. So I'm gonna give you guys like my final thoughts on all the products. So, and then this is like what the foundation is looking like. So it may have gotten a little bit more dewy looking, And I know that's just because of the hard candy. Like, it does get slightly a little bit more dewy throughout the day. These pair really well together. They work well together. They look beautiful together. So I highly recommend both of these products, and hopefully Ulta still has like their sale on this foundation if you buy it through the app, because I feel like $10 is a really good deal on this. I also really like the LA Girl On Cloud 9 Bouncy Blush and Bronzer. I think as long as you use a light hand with the bronzer, you can totally make this work. Love the blush color. I do feel like both of those products lasted well throughout the day, especially the blush. Like, look at the blush, it's still going strong. Like, it meshed really well with the foundation, so really love this. The eyeshadow, you all know I'm just not a fan of this. I think that it could possibly work for someone that has very dry skin, really dry eyelids. Maybe it would work better. Like, maybe my eyelids are just too greasy. But even with an eyeshadow primer, I still have the same issue. I'm not a fan of the mascara either. Like, it's not a horrible mascara, and maybe it would work better for somebody that has maybe shorter lashes. Since my lashes are really long, I look for something that is separating and with like a little bit of volume. A formula that's not super wet. Like, this formula is pretty wet. Maybe I would like it better once it dries out a bit more, but yeah, don't care for that. So, and I don't like how clunky the brush is. With the lip product, like, as you can see, this has lasted so well after I applied it this afternoon. Now, I didn't really I haven't eaten anything since lunchtime, like since I reapplied this after my last check-in, but I have like drank water and things like that, and it has not worn off at all. And I guess maybe it feels slightly a little bit dry, but not like too overly dry. It also doesn't feel too like heavy on the lips. Like, in the process of it drying down, it kind of did, but now that it's completely dried down, like, it doesn't really feel heavy. Like the Superstay matte inks, these can feel kind of heavy on the lips, and also if you reapply that throughout the day, it can feel really gummy. This didn't. So I do really like this Maybelline Superstay Teddy Tint. And the color on this is so pretty. Like, this is a really nice everyday nude that doesn't wash you out. Like, this is just like my lips but better color. So I'm really impressed by this. I really like it. It makes me want to try some of the other shades. So let me know if any of you guys have tried any of the other shades in this and if you like it or not. I hope that you guys enjoyed this testing new drugstore makeup. If you did, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments if there are any other products that you would like for me to test out and try that you have seen. And I hope that you guys have a great day, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye. Mwah.
You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art.